Good evening, and it's good to be out here again tonight. We want to give God the glory for this time, and we want to bless God. I guess tell the Almighty God, thank you for the opportunity to be here. All right, thank you. Good evening. Thank you. All right, thank you. It's good to be here tonight. We want to give God the glory for allowing us to, to interact again on this platform. We want to give God the glory for allowing us to interact again on this platform. Last week was our first interaction. We began the process of talking about leadership, and tonight we want to honor that again to just get online to interact. So we want to say welcome again. Thank you for being a part of tonight's presentation. All right. Thank you. It's always a blessing, ready to have you online and to have us interacting. And just talking about leadership. So, to begin with tonight, I want to start with a question. Where are you leading from? Okay. What are you doing in terms of leadership? What role are you playing? Are you leading yourself in the right direction? Are you leading the team in the right direction? How well are you handling your own life? All right, because leadership is yes very important, and it plays a very important part of our life. That without it we cannot achieve our goal. All right, so leadership is just very important. So this one time when we met, we talk about leadership. We try to establish the meaning of leadership and understanding of leadership versus position. We said that leadership is influence. All right, it's influence and not just title, because most of the time we think that being a leader, hey, you have to have some kind of title before you can lead. Again, my purpose is to just let us know that leadership is beyond that. It's not title, it's not limited to title. Regardless of where you are, you can still lead. All right, so this time we did say that leadership is the capacity to influence people positively. All right, to influence people positively. Okay, because influence can be either negative, all right, or positive. But here our emphasis is on influencing people positively. Okay, it is the expression through actions, character, and services, visions, and all of that. All right, so to influence people positively, again, you got to have the character, you got to have the vision, you got to have the passion, you got to be willing to serve. Because without service, you will not be able to really see who you're leading or how you are leading. Yes, very important. That character, vision, they are very important when it comes to leadership. When it comes to leadership, yes, very important. So we need to take those seriously. Okay, and we mentioned that you can become a leader or you can start to exercise your leadership from just where you are. All right, and we try to answer the question. We said that how to lead from where we are, or from your level where you are, how to lead. All right, we said that number one, it starts when you take initiative instead of waiting to be instructed. All right, you take initiative. You look for something to do. You step out. You don't just sit and fold your hands. No, you take initiative. All right. You try to solve problems rather than pointing out those problems. So it doesn't just work when you get sick. No, it works best when you are willing to take some actions. Take actions that will correct the group, take actions that will help the group, take actions that will promote the group. All right. So you got to be willing to take some actions. Very much important. All right. And we said that another way you can do it or you can lead is to add value to your team or to whatever group you are part of. All right. So again, my question tonight is that group that you are part of, what value are you adding to that group? What value? What you bring on the table? Okay, as a leader, what do you bring on the table? All right, or do you guys wait for people to act before you move? What do you bring on the table? Even your own life, what value do you bring on the table that adds to the team, that help to make the team what it ought to be? Presentable or ready to work through. All right. Yes. Another area or place where reasons why a lot of leaders struggle is in the area of integrity. Integrity is just very important. Again, we said that integrity is a guy's a leader, and integrity help us to glorify God. All right. So as a leader, you need to be a person of integrity. You need to allow people to see that you are a man or a woman of integrity. So you don't just sit and say, "Well, I'm a person of integrity." Let people see it. Let people know that you are a person of integrity. All right. Like if you check the life of Joseph that I was just talking about at a church this few times. As a result of God being with Joseph, the Bible says Potiphar saw that God was with Joseph. So integrity is something that people will see as you put it to work, as you practice it. Integrity is just again, they lack the spirit of integrity. And you cannot lead if you are not a person of integrity. Okay. Another issue, another place you can start to lead is the team and what have you. People, some all right, and communicate effectively, not just somehow. All right. So we learned that you can be a leader in that era that you find yourself. Just very important. All right. Very important. So tonight we want to move a little further. We want to move a little further to talk about leadership from another angle. And leadership from another angle. All right. And tonight we want to spend our time just talking about self awareness and personal mastery. You see, you cannot be a leader if you do not know yourself. That's what we're talking about. You cannot be a leader if you do not know yourself. You don't know who you are. You don't know what you can do. That undermines your ability to lead. Yeah, that undermines your ability to lead. All right. So it's important that as an individual, you need to know who you are before you can really lead. And that's what we say being self awareness. Self awareness. A lot of us we are in a team, but we do not know who we are. We don't know our potential. So because we don't know our potential, we want to stay away. We want to feel shy. We don't want to be a part of what's happening, or we want to take the back seat. All right, and allow other people to be ahead of you. No, you got so much potential. All right, what you need to do is to work your way through to discover those potential. All right, so tonight we want to spend some time just looking at that. Okay, yes. So again, we want to say welcome back to our leadership development series. And today, again, like I said, we want to deal with one of the most important, all right, ingredients of leadership growth. That's self-awareness and personal mastery. Okay. And to do that, we want to focus on what we call the SWOT self-assessment for personal discovery. What is it? All right. I know we heard the word SWOT before. SWOT. SWOT. Okay, we heard that word before. Something we call the SWOT self-assessment for personal growth. I want to grow, and as such, as a leader, I want to grow. But to grow, I got to know myself, and I got to know exactly what I want to do. So one of the ways you can start to discover yourself is to use the SWOT self-discovery tools. Okay, what is it? I know sometimes when we hear about the SWOT, it's we always attach it to business and what have you. But it can also be applied to leadership, all right, or personal discovery, to discover myself. All right. It is very effective for us to get to know what I do and what I don't do, my strength, my weakness, and what I feel I need to, do some analysis. Then I will get to know. And tonight we want to help you to get to know how you can discover your strength as a leader, because that's one of the areas where we struggle as leaders. We don't know who we are, and so when we are given responsibilities, we either shy away from it, or we are not confident enough to take responsibility because we just don't know. All right, we just don't know. Gets very important. So leadership is gets very important. Okay, so you need to look at your strength as strength. All right, you need to also understand your weakness as a leader. What's your strength? What is that thing you're good at? Okay, your weaknesses. There are, I guess, some areas where you struggle, and how can you improve in those areas? All right, and we also want to look at opportunities. How can you work along with opportunities? And the last one is stress. How do you handle problems that kind of try to weigh you down? How do you handle them? How do you overcome them? And as a leader, if you do not know how to overcome those areas, my dear, you will struggle. And sometimes your life will be like a roller coaster. One day you are up, one day you are discouraged, one day you are down, one day you are encouraged, and just like that. All right. So it gets very important. Okay. So when you use a swap personally, it helps you to see yourself, who you are now, and what you want to become tomorrow. Okay. So to begin with, we said you need to study your strength. Okay. In order for you to make impact as a leader, you need to know your strength. If you don't know your strength, you will not be able to impact those around you, or even your organization. You will not be able to, work alone. Okay. So what's my strength? If I'm asking myself, what are my strength? Okay. What's my strength? Okay. These are what we call natural abilities, your positive qualities. So I asked myself, I said, well, what am I naturally good at? What is that one thing that I'm so good at? All right, that I feel very satisfied. Okay, feel very satisfied. Okay, to do that when I'm doing it, I am confident. I love to do it. I love to find myself doing it. Like the era of teaching and leadership development, I love to do that. Or I love to see myself teaching and passing on knowledge and teaching pastors and leaders. All right. I love to see myself doing that. But again, you need to know what's your strength. Okay. So, what is that area that you are very good? Okay. Yes. Then the next way you can get to know your strength is ask yourself, what do people often praise me for as an individual? What is that one area that I am being praised? What is that one area? Is there any area in your life where people will say, "Oh yes, John Brown, he's excellent at that. He's good at that." Do you have such? If you do, then that's your strength. That could be one of your strength area. All right? Yes, that could be. So if you take it very seriously and you begin to build up in that breakthrough, in that area, and you enjoy yourself. You will enjoy being that person that you want to be. All right. And what activities come easily to me? All right. So what are some of those things that are easily come to me and that I find myself doing? That I find myself doing on a daily basis. What are those things? I get to know that I will obviously be ready now to say, hey, this is my strength. And I know I would love to look for a situation. I would love to look for activities in this area to keep myself active and working. Because you want to feel good. You want to know that you can do it. That's your strength. And every leader, for that matter, to be an effective leader, you need to know yourself. That's what we call self-awareness. You need to know yourself. You need to know where you are. All right. What you want to become. What is that number one thing that you want to become? And if you know what you want to become, then the next thing you need to establish, hey, who am I? And work towards it. Don't get set back. Okay. Don't get set back. Okay. Yes. Okay. Strength can include things like what? Good communication. All right. Are you that person who's very articulate, who's very active when it comes to communication? Are you that person? Are you that leader? All right. Now, if you're a leader and you struggle in the area of communication, obviously your leadership might not, because passing on message and instruction might be difficult because you don't like to maybe communicate. Communication, we have oral, we have verbal and non-verbal communication, we have written, oral communications, and those kind of things. So you need to learn, you need to build yourself in those areas. Yourself in those areas, you will obviously be able to say, oh yes, I know I'm the kind of leader that God wants me to be. All right. So are you good at communication? Or are you that person who's not good at communication? All right. What's about organizing? Organizing. That's another area. Are you somebody who loves to organize? Just work with people. Work with people. All right. Yes, build people up. Work along with people. Build them up. All right. Organize things. You want to see you want to see them organized in order. In order. All right. If that's your area, then you need to build it up. That could be your strength. That could be your strength. Excuse me. The next thing is being responsible. Being responsible. Now the question is: are you that person who, when they trust you with something, you will say, "Oh yes, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it this way." All right. Now the question is: are you that person who, when they trust you with something, you will say, "Oh yes, a lot of us we're not responsible because when we are trusted rather with something, we just sit and look, and we don't do it at the best of our ability. We sit and just do it. Maybe we do it half-heartedly. All right. When it comes to organization, we are not strong there. When it comes to being responsible, again, you can be trusted and all those kind of things. Okay, are you that person who are good at teaching or encouraging others? If that's your strength, put it to work. And I can tell you, when you put it to work, you will see that God will start to use you in that area. Okay. I can remember sometimes back in the 90s when I was given the opportunity to go and teach at a church in Nimba, Liberia. It was just an opportunity for me. It was not at the time. It was very challenging, but at least I took on the opportunity and I step into it. And that was my very first experience. I went out there and I taught the church and I taught a lot of people. And from there, from that day, the passion to just communicate, to just teach people. All right. Because leadership is about, again, impacting the lives of people. Leadership is about adding value to people. So if you are a leader and you're not adding value to people, or you're not impacting the life of people, or you're not moving people towards your goal, then you need to ask yourself, am I ready serving in this place as a leader? Yes, gets very important. All right. So we need to take our roles as leaders seriously. Okay. Yes. So to discover my strength, again, I need to ask myself, am I a good communicator? All right. I'm not that person who's always teaching and encouraging people. I'm not that person who loves to solve problems. All right. A lot of people, a lot of us are leaders, but we in fact, we create problem more than we solve problem. All right. And leadership is about solving problem. Okay. It's about solving problem. It's about getting there and seeing the situation and say, well, I think I have an idea, and we can solve this situation. We can bring it to a close. All right. So as a leader, you need to know your strength. If you do not know your strength, hey, then you tend to become the kind of leader that you want to be. It will be difficult. And we need leaders who will discover themselves. We need leaders who will understand themselves. If you cannot understand yourself, how will you understand the group that you are leading? And that's why I encourage leaders to put in more time in understanding themselves. Understanding yourself means you discipline yourself. It means you keep learning. It means you keep digging. You keep on following. You keep live out, live in. All right, and working towards it. All right. So you need to understand your strength. The next thing you need to understand is what we call your weakness. You need to understand your weaknesses. Okay, your weaknesses. There are habits and attitude that may hold you back or slow your growth down. All right. As a leader, there are a lot of things we do that kind of slow us down. A lot of things we do that kind of hinder us. And what are some of those things that we do that hinder us? All right. That we count as maybe weakness on our part. Have you ever been in a situation where you were asked to do something, and instead of doing it, you just started postponing it? We call that procrastination. All right. And a lot of leaders fall into that. Husbands, wives, families, and all of them who lead family. You say, well, I want to do it next year. I want to do it this time. I want to do when that time reaches, you say, okay, no, I want to do it the other time. I want to do it this time. No, that's what we're talking about. That's a weakness on your part. And as a leader, you need to discover where you're struggling with that, so you can fight it and get over it. All right. So we say the first area is what? Procrastination. The next thing is poor time management. A lot of us, hey, when it comes to time management, it is difficult for us to really practice good time management. All right. Have you ever invited somebody to a program, and before you make up your mind, the person is 30 minutes late? All right. Guess poor at managing their time. Poor time management. A lot of us. In fact, we got a slogan in Liberia that says Liberian time. All right, which is guess out of the line. You cannot be a leader and you don't manage time well. That's a weakness on your part, and that's something. If that's a weakness again, you can work on it. That's the thing about God. He can always help us along the way. You can work your way through. All right, improving your time. Normally, I would tell people instead of just waiting, for example, if somewhere to be there by 10 o'clock, the program starting 10 o'clock, instead of waiting, all right, until you get where you get to 9:50 before you start leaving your home, man, before you get there, if the program is going to start in time, obviously you will be late and you'll miss some things out. So it's best appropriately to go maybe 30 minutes earlier, all right, because you don't want anything to just slip your attention. You want to be there in time. You want to get involved into activities, and you don't want, I would call it, rush into what you're supposed to do. So you do it in time. You work your way in time. You work your way in time, and you work your way through. All right, you work your way through time. You work your way in a way that, look, yeah, this is what I need to do. So I'm stepping towards it. All right, important. Very, very important. Very important. Time management. And that's where most of us as leaders, that's where we struggle. Time management. We do not value time. All right. And if you don't value time, you will miss a lot of things as a leader. Because every time you will struggle. And the thing about time management is that you got to manage your activities in time. Very, very, you got to manage them in time. If you don't do that, you catch yourself. All right. Yeah. Another weakness that you find in most of us as leaders is the area of emotional what do I call it, emotional impatience. All right. When we are asked to do something, or when something is has caught up with us, the way we are so emotional. All right. We are so emotional to the extent that sometimes we don't think right, we don't do things right, and before you know it, we are lost the essence of what we're supposed to do. All right. So emotionally, people are not balanced. If a leader is not balanced emotionally, when they hear something, when you hear something, what are your reaction? All right. What's your first reaction? Do you say to yourself, oh, this thing I heard, it need to be this way? No. Wait and ask and think about it. Normally we say think before you act. Don't act before you think. All right. Yes. And sometimes out of emotion, we do things, then we sit back and say, oh, if I knew, man, I would not have done it this way. It's already late because, again, emotionally, you are struggling there. All right, you are struggling. That could be a weakness. And and tonight, if that's where you struggle emotionally, you are emotionally very much emotional when it comes to things. Again, as a leader, you sit and think, and you say, look, from our Christian perspective, you say, oh God, help me to be the kind of leader. Let my emotion not take root, take preeminence in this place. Allow me to walk through and walk through safely. Okay. Yes. So some leaders procrastinate as a way of showing weakness. Every time they need to do something, they keep saying, I will, I will, I will, I will, and they never done it. All right. Some leaders are very poor when it comes, poor time management. When it comes to time management, they are very poor. All right. Some leaders are very emotional. All right. And leaders, do not allow yourself to be too emotional. All right, leaders. In fact, sometimes in a meeting, you want to be the first to talk. No, leaders don't do that. You listen to people. All right. When you speak, that's fine. That's fine. All right. The next era of weakness that some leaders show is the era they find it difficult to accept correction. They find it difficult to accept correction, and they say to themselves, "Oh, I don't need to be corrected. I am the leader here." Hey, man, you need to listen. You need to work with people. And as such, there might be something that you will do that you will not do right. And people will tell you, say, this wasn't right. It should have been this way. As a leader, in fact, it shows maturity to look at a situation and say, oh, yes, I made mistake there. Let's turn it this way. Okay, let's turn it this way. So as a leader, you got to be open again to correction. A lot of us as leader, we don't like correction. In fact, we don't like those who work with us to correct us. We feel inferior. We feel that, look, the person is not, all right, should not be doing it. I am the boss. Why would you want to correct me? No. Leadership is not, again, like I said, it's not title. Don't look at the title. Look at how you can influence that person. And then positively, not just influence, but influence them positively. Very, 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 very much. Influence them positively. All right. So leaders struggle in the era of procrastination. Leaders struggle in the era of poor time management. Leaders struggle in the era of what? Accepting correction. Leaders struggle in the era of what? Lack of follow through. Lack of follow through. For example, you give assignment to somebody and you just sit back and you say, oh man, the person will do it. No. As a leader, we do follow up. We follow the person up to find out where they are, what they're doing, how they're doing, and whether they are willing to submit on in time. Okay, yes, very much important. All right, and our last era, there are several other areas of weakness when it comes to leadership, where some of us struggle. And what I'm listing here, I'm not an exception. Sometimes I struggle in these areas as well. All right. Sometimes I procrastinate. When I'm supposed to do something, I say, oh, yes, I will do it. I will do it. And sometimes I keep pushing it. And sometimes I miss a step when it comes to time management. All right. Sometimes, again, I'm emotional. I'm emotional to solving issues or to approaching issues. So nobody is an island when it comes to these area of weaknesses. All right. Another area that we struggle is the area to say no. Amen. As a leader, a lot of us would not want to say what? No. All right. So people walk to you and you look at it and you say, ah, no, I don't think I need. Hey, man, it's difficult to look at my friend and say no. It's difficult to look at this person and say no, this thing will not work. All right. A lot of leaders, they feel that when they say no, they create problem. All right. And leaders, you must be confident enough to look at somebody and say, oh, yes, no, I just can't do it. It's not a time. All right. That's what makes you a leader. Leadership is not just about making the soft, I would say, easy decision. When it's okay, we go with it. But there are times you got to make some what hard decision. All right. Because when the person don't like it, you still got to look at that person and say, look, what you did was not okay. I don't like it. All right. Or you want this thing. I don't think it's up to me to give it to you. So you hold on to it and you don't give it to the person. Say no is important at times. But a lot of us as leaders, we struggle in that area. We don't want to tell people no. All right. We don't want to tell people no. All right. That's an area of weakness. That's why I say you need to do your analysis. What's your strength? What's your weaknesses? All right. And if you discover your strength and you discover your weaknesses, the next thing you need to work on is your opportunities. All right. Because we say weaknesses don't make you a bad leader. They simply show where you need to grow. And all of us on this line tonight, all of you listening to me, or all of you that were listening to this recording, you need to know that you need to grow. And there are places in your life where you need to grow. Maybe you are a poor decision maker. Whenever you make decision, it lean the other way. It does not yield positive result for you. All right. You need to grow in that area. Maybe you are that person who, when you're ready to do something, you keep saying tomorrow, tomorrow. Maybe it's a need for you to go to school and you keep saying, no, I will do it next year. All right. Or it's a need for you to get married, to take leadership in that area. And you keep saying, no, I will do it next year. I will do it another year. I will do it this time. I will do it that time. All right. You don't want to take the lead. You are procrastinating. You are what? Emotional, bro. You become difficult to receive correction. They tell you about it, you say, no, 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 no. I don't want to hear it. All right. Some people do what we say, it's hard for them to say no. Anything that comes is a what or yeah, whether it's right or it's wrong, that's a yes. All right. So we say these areas, they are not bad. Again, we need to grow. And each of us here, we are in a growth process. Nobody have arrived, including me. Nobody have arrived. You haven't arrived. I haven't arrived. So where you are, you can still make it again. You can still make it happen. All right. Yes. So when you do your swap analysis or you find your strength and you find your weaknesses, the next thing you need to observe is opportunity. We call it opportunities. They all stand for opportunity. External chances for what? For growth. All right. As you discover your weaknesses, you need to move to that place where you find opportunity to grow. You find opportunity to grow. You said there are the things. I mean, these are the things around you that can help you to grow if you take advantage of them. All right. What are those things that will help you to grow? Like what we're doing here, a new leadership role. New leadership role. If you want to grow, you got to take on responsibility. Your refusal to take on responsibility is your acceptance of not wanting to grow. All right. Never you refuse to say, well, I don't want to play this role. Whenever you say that, what it does is that you indirectly you are telling that person or that leader that I don't want to grow. I'm okay with it. All right. And certainly you will not grow. You wouldn't grow like that. All right. It's like a child that is born. All right. When that child is ready to walk, sometimes they will fall. Sometimes the mother or the father will hold their hands and at some point in time will leave them and what have you. So as you grow along, as you move along, as you take on roles, leadership role, as you take on roles and responsibility, you start to grow, you start to develop. Because when you get there, you start to discover some new things. You start to discover things that will help you, things that will take you from point A to point B. Even your own life. You need to play that leadership role in your own life. Look at your own life. Are you at the place where you want to be? I don't think so. I'm not at the place where I want to be. So I need to step it up. And I know you are not at the place where you want to be. You need to step it up as a leader. And like we said tonight, if you will influence and lead, you got to firstly lead yourself. And that's what we're talking about tonight. You cannot lead if you don't lead yourself. If you don't know to how to lead yourself, then how will you lead the people that are with you? How will you lead even the children that you have? All right. So leadership in those areas is very important. And again, we say take on new roles. Take on new roles. Roles. All right. Take on new role either in your organization, in your home, all right, in your church, wherever you find yourself. Take on new roles. When you take on new role, you will be able to now develop yourself in those areas. The next thing again, find somebody that can help you. All right, somebody that can help you. A big sister, all right, a big brother, all right, somebody who's experienced. We call those mentors. Mentor to help guide you. All right. For example, if you want to get into business, don't go looking for somebody who's not in a business. If you want to sell something, look for somebody in that field. Look for somebody who have that business idea, and you live with them. That person will mentor you. That person will guide you towards what you want. All right. But if you sit down and go get somebody or mingle with somebody who cannot help you, obviously you will not be able to arrive at your destination. In fact, Shakespeare, in my high school literature, I learned these words from Shakespeare. He said, "Show me your friend, and I will show you who you are." All right. So opportunities are all around us. Okay. So again, they are there. We need to step up for it. Another thing you can do to improve yourself, or another opportunity that you can take chances of, is training program or workshop. All right, like what we're doing here tonight. This is a form of training. This is a form of workshop. And as time goes by, we'll be doing live presentation. PowerPoint presentation. You will see that. All right, and we'll interact with that. So we're looking forward to that. I want you as a leader to discover yourself and then work your way through. All right. Yes. So opportunities. Don't sit back. Take on new responsibilities at church or at work. That's what we said earlier. All right. Leadership role. Don't sit back when somebody asks you to do this. Make yourself available and serve. As you serve, you will learn and you will be able to influence and help people to grow. Okay? Help people to grow. The next thing, network with people. There are people around you. One person can live. All right. You were created in as a social being. You are connected to families, family connected to the society is connected to the nations. All right, a nation is connected to nations of the world. So network. All right, network, connect with people, and as you connect with people, hey, you'll be able to overcome, to make use or maximum use of the opportunities around you. So opportunity help you stress, learn, and expand your capacity. That's what opportunity does. All right. So swap S, strength, W, weakness, O, opportunities, and the next one is what? Threats. How do I deal with threats? Threats are what? Are internal. Threats our external, not internal, external challenges that can hinder you. Those are things we cause threats. There are a lot of things that come against us, all right, that will hinder our leadership. And sometimes we're not mindful of these things. And because you're not mindful of it or you don't know them, you allow the enemy use them to hurt you. All right. Now, what are some of the external threats that we have as a leader? What are some of the, or some of them rather? I'm sorry. What are some of them? Okay. It said these are the things around you that may limit your progress if you are not careful. All right. And as I speak to you right now, there are a lot of you who are into it. Connected to things. You think those things are helping you, but they are really hurting you. All right. And tonight I want to expose those things to you so that you will look at them and say, look, hey, I think I need to get rid of this thing. I need to get rid of that thing. You cannot grow if you do not value. All right. You do not work those areas of weaknesses in you. Those areas of threat, because they are there to hurt you. They are there to make sure that you don't progress. Okay. What are some of the areas, examples of threats that we experience at times? Number one, negative friendship. Okay. Some of you, your trouble or your problem is the kind of friend you associate yourself with. That's where your problem is. That's where your problem is. All right. You cannot be an individual who wants to do XYZ and you are friended with the wrong kind of person. If you are friended with the wrong kind of person, obviously the person going to influence your life. I'm friended with somebody who doesn't maybe I'm in school and the person who is my best friend, he doesn't like school business. So when I'm talking about school, or he or she is talking about what, us going somewhere to nightclub, so us going somewhere to mingle with some other activities when I'm talking about school. So I will now need to balance what I do with that friend and what I do with my own pursuit or plan. All right. Sometimes check the friends you got. Some of the friends you got, they are the problem to your life. They are the very problem that's hindering you. All right. Yes. All right. If you are friended with the wrong kind of person, obviously that's a threat to your leadership. That's a threat. It could be even a threat to either your marriage. It could be a threat to your education. It could be a threat to your business. It could just be a threat. Some of you are friended with, you got friends who will come when you got goods on your table. They credit it and they carry it. They don't pay. All right. And that person is your best friend. Say what she would do to me or what he would do to me. Nothing. All right. Yes. You got a friend who, when you ask them to do this, they are not willing to do it. Sometimes so you need to evaluate. Negative friendship hinders our ability to lead, hinder our ability to move forward. So if you are in contact with a friend who is negatively influencing your life, you need to checkmate that. Check that and say, look, this thing, I don't think we can continue this way. Some of you are into a relationship that have stalled your life for 5, 10, 15 years. You get there and you're not making any move to say, well, let me play my leadership role by taking decisions that will from this thing, because you are entangled. You got a kind of friend who is not willing for you to move far away from the next thing is distraction. There are a lot of things in our life that distract us. A lot of things. All right. Things that will not, give you what you want. Things that will delay your progress. All right. For example, if I got exam to do tomorrow morning and I got a friend that said, let's go club tonight. I know very well that if I go club tonight and I drink, I will, when I get back home, I will not be able to what? To do my assignments. I will not be able to study. I will not be able to prepare myself for the exam tomorrow. So that's distraction. All right. It's like you're walking on a highway and you're leading, you're going towards a particular destination, and somebody gets stop you along the road and saying all sort of things. Or maybe you're trying to go to church today, or you're trying to go to work today, and somebody came to the house and started to what? Curse you, insult you, and that thing become an issue, and you start to fight over it. That's not leadership. That's a distraction. All right. And those are things we call threats to leadership. If you're not mindful of those things, it leads you into serious problem and it hinders your ability to lead. All right. Another thing that serves as a form of weakness in our leadership or in our life is what we call discipline, lack of discipline. Do you know a lot of us without discipline? All right. So discipline is an issue when it comes to leadership. That's why you will see a leader, they will rise up today, and after a few days, you don't see them again. All right. Even in the church, you will see sometimes a minister will rise up and be a mighty and anointed man of God. All right. And everybody will be hailing that man of God. But after a few days or months or years, you will see that minister will go cold. What made him to go cold? It's lack of discipline. Lack of discipline. Very important. And for me, I strongly believe that no leader can succeed without discipline. If you are not disciplined, my dear, then just forget it. You might not make the kind of impact you're supposed to make. Because being disciplined is looking at something and say, well, this thing not good for me. I'm not going to do it. This thing is not good for me. I'm not going to do it. That's being disciplined. So lack of discipline destroy our leadership. Destroy our leadership. All right. People are not disciplined. That's why somebody can say, okay, the person is our leader today. And before you know it, say, oh man, John Brown, you're not correct. We're moving you. All right. We're taking you off. All right. For example, I think from our own national government, We've been seeing some people who they will sack and put them on the some people doing good work, but will get sacked them. Why? Yes, what troubled them? What made them, or what made them to reach that point where they had to be removed? It's because of the lack of discipline. Maybe there's an opportunity that came illegally. Instead of them being disciplined to say, no, I'm not going to be a part of this thing, they say, I'm going to take it and nothing will happen. And it's under the cover. And when you are exposed, there's no way for you to escape. Lack of discipline. And lack of discipline has caused many leaders to fail. Many leaders. Even if you check from biblical perspective, there are a lot of leaders who fail because of what? Lack of discipline. Just lack of discipline. All right. And lack of discipline is a threat. All right. Doing what you need to do and doing it in time. As a leader, again, if you're not disciplined, you will not finish well. You will not finish well. Another area that people show lack of discipline is the area of financial pressure. Some leaders, when they are into places, the only thing they want is the money. They want money. Anything they do, they want money. Anything they say, they want money. They become money conscious. Now, leaders, from our Christian perspective, we say leaders should not love money. You shouldn't be greedy for money. You shouldn't be greedy for money. And look, if you are so greedy for money, it causes problem. It causes chaos. It causes confusion. All right? Because everything you do is money, then it becomes problem. Because every chunk of money that enters your hand, you want to eat more and give less to the organization. And when that happens, what happens? You will lose your credibility. You will lose your connection. You will lose your prestige. You will lose whatever you're supposed to lose in order for other people to step in. All right? So again, financial pressure. Yeah. And I think I will also tie financial pressure to what? Lack of discipline. Somebody who's not disciplined, when they see money, they will take it. All right. If you're not disciplined to say no or to refuse to take something that doesn't belong to you, when you see it, you will take it. And when you are caught, then it becomes another problem for you. All right. The next is poor environment. Listen to me. Listen to this. No leader can grow beyond their environment. You got to rise above your environment. If your environment is not okay, you need to make it okay. If you don't make it okay, it will make you into what it is. So no leader will easily survive. If you grew up in the wrong environment or you are in the wrong environment, either you try to change that environment to resemble what you want it to be, or you change your inter. Yes. A lot of leaders don't grow, don't expand because they are in the wrong environment. It's like taking a healthy tree and planting it in a soil that will not allow it to grow. Although the tree has the potential to grow, but the soil does not stand ready to support, all right, to support it. So it will not grow. That's why sometimes when you travel in the desert area, you will see the tree. The trees have the potential to grow, but the desert land would not permit them. So you go, all the trees are shut. All right? You're standing on, you putting your hand over a grown tree that could be even, I would say, older than you, and you putting your hand on top of it. All right? Because the soil is not the right place. The soil is not the right place. All right? The soil is not the right place. So if you're in the wrong environment, obviously you have to either change that environment and make it work positively for you, or hey, you change around it. Okay. Yes. Another thing that serve as a threat to us is what we call toxic environment, toxic working place. Have you ever worked in an environment where too many things happen? Gossip, envy, and a lot of other things happening. A lot of things happening. Okay, a lot of things happening. A lot of things happening. Envy and a lot of things just happening. A lot. And you wonder, you say, but wait, now what's happening? What's happening to me? Toxic environment. You're in a wrong peer group. You're in a wrong group. All right? You're associated with the wrong kind of people. If you're in that kind of setting, for you to grow, you will not grow as a leader. You will not discover, you will not make use of your potential. All right? You will not make use of your potential. You will not make use of it. All right. You might have the potential, but because of the environment, you will just go so along with the environment. Along with the environment. All right. Along with the environment. Let me just list a few things that we can stop tonight. I know I've said a lot tonight, and I hope you are following me tonight, wherever you are. Again, this is the website. I mean, this is a page we are using to update us every Monday. We'll be on this page to interact in the area of leadership. Our emphasis right now is leadership. All right. We might move on to other subjects, but for now, the whole thing is surrounding leadership. We are here. I'm here every Monday, uh, 8 o'clock Liberian time. All right, 8 o'clock Liberian time. 8 o'clock Liberian time. Okay, so we need to understand that. Where we'll talk about leadership and guest inter. If you have questions again, you can have them posted in the chat room or in your comment area. I will obviously respond to those questions. Again, follow the link. You can go to my YouTube page and sign up. That every time I come on, you will listen and follow through what I'm doing here. All right. Again, thank you. Very quickly, let's just look at one or two areas where on how to identify strength and blind spot in our leadership. All right. Okay. Number one way to do it is even with all number one way to do it is to listen on to what honest feedback. Is to listen to honest feedback. Honest feedback tonight. To listen to honest feedback. All right. Sometimes talk to people, listen to them. What they think about you, what they think about your leadership. Talk to them. All right. And let them tell you frankly what they think about you. Maybe you could do it in a question form, you could do it in a joking form, but let them tell you what they think about you. That helps to build you. That helps to make you a better person. Okay? Yes. Then the next area where you also need to identify watch repeated mistake. Is there a place where you always making mistake back and forth every time you come back to that particular place? All right. And a problem that repeats itself is pointing to a blind spot in your life. That's what you need to know. Anytime you make mistake 2 times, or maybe you're that person, somebody tells you, well, I don't like the way you talk. Okay, the first person come and tell, I don't like the way you talk. The second person can tell you, I don't like the way you talk. The third person can say, I don't like the way you talk. Instead of telling those people, say, that's how you talk, sit down and say, oh, Father God, how am I talking? Then you try to change that and allow yourself to work well. That's how we grow. All right? Yes, we listen to good feedback. Okay? We reflect on emotional triggers. The things that frustrate or often or offend you easily often reveal area needing growth. You see, sometimes if for example, if you are impatient, you're somebody who not patient. All right. Sometimes God will allow somebody to come your way who will be hard-headed. And the reason why God will allow that person to come join to path is to make you to what? To be patient. All right, is to make you to be patient. That's all. All right, that's what God will try to do. So it gets very important. So there are guest places that God will want you to improve. Okay, again, talking about compare your goals with your habits. What are the things you want to do, and what are the things you're doing right now? Maybe the things you want to do. Maybe I say I want to go to school. All right, my goal is to go to school. I don't see myself doing school activities. I see myself doing different things. Okay, what I'm doing does not align with my goal. I want to jump, I want to do business. But I'm there, maybe I'm clubbing or I'm doing something else that's just contrary to what to do. Yes, contrary to what I want to do. Just very contrary. All right, contrary to what I want to do. So strength and blind spots work hand in hand. We need to work that out. Work that out. All right. Yes. To work that out. All right. So you ask yourself, what am I good at? All right. What am I good at? All right. What's that area you need to work on? The area that you need to work on. Are you helping to improve yourself? If you are struggling in some areas, I encourage you tonight Work on those areas. Those areas could be your weaknesses. All right. And if that's your weakness, make up your mind. If you're that person that quick to get vexed as a leader, make up your mind tonight and say, look, me, from today, nothing will easily move me. I will not get vexed about anything. I will try to control my temper. All right. Yes, if you are that person who, when you're ready, when you are angry, you got to cause what people can call fire damage. You got to cause trouble before you sit down. You need to sit down and say, God, help me so that, look, I will not do these things. All right. Then you ask yourself, what are some of those things that what make me happy? I will call it that energizes me. Okay. Where do I feel alive? Where do I go that make me happy? What activity make me feel confident? All right. You ask yourself those questions. And as a leader, it's again the thing is about growth. You cannot take your people to where you are not. So you got to build yourself up. When you build yourself up, you are able to impact the other people. You're able to lead the people. All right. Again, tonight we'll stop here. I don't see any question in the chat room. Thank you for being a part of what the presentation tonight. We'll continue next week. Monday, we'll be here again with another presentation. All right. Like I said, as my schedule changes, I will also add another day that will have it done 2 times a week or so. All right. But for now, we want to do it once a week, every Monday. So share the news, share the live, share the information, and don't forget to follow me either on Facebook or YouTube. Find a time to follow me. All right. Yes. This is very important, and I don't want you to be left out. It is my prayer that God will help us to continue in this direction. Again, thank you tonight. If you were here, we're going for almost an hour now. Thank you so much for being a part of this presentation tonight. I do look forward to seeing you, yes, in the next presentation. What I will ask you to do for me tonight, write down 3 personal growth area, 3 places you want to grow. Write it down, all right, and pray about it, and make sure you grow in those areas. Thank you. God bless you, and I do look forward to seeing you next presentation. Thank you. Be the leader that God wants you to be. Leaders need to lead. Leaders lead. They don't follow. You are a leader. Step up and step in to what God has called you to do. Thank you, and God bless you tonight. In Jesus' name, amen.